done. Okay, guys, once again, I welcome you to my lesson for today. Ladies and gentlemen, at all times, I think it is necessary for me to say it's very much important that I say it's very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, because what I need to say is massively important. Guys, a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, good people, please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. So obviously, for today's lesson, we'll be looking at question 4 of November 2018 exam paper. So this is for paper 2, which falls under analytical geometry. So last night we've done a similar question, but obviously the diagram is different, and also the manner in which questions are asked, it will still obviously be different. So guys, do you still have that question paper that I sent in the group? Because for today I had to draw that diagram because I noticed when I use a tablet it makes the lesson a bit blurry. So I'm not sure if you guys still have that image that I sent, so that I can read so that I can read that question paper using the other phone. So you can also do the same on your side. Guys, can you just unmute and let me know if you've got that question paper? Otherwise, I can bring it on my screen. Do you have it, guys?
Yes, we do, sir.
Linda?
So I'm Aliza and I don't have the question paper.
You don't have the question paper, Aliswa? Okay, no, it's fine. Let me try to share my screen and see if I can be able to bring that question paper. Let me try something, guys. There should be a way in which I can share a screen. Let me do this. Just let me know if you're able to see the screen. Let me then go back and do that. I think this should be the question paper. Guys, are you able to see on my screen?
Yes, so we can see, but it's kind of small.
This is question 4, yeah. So you're saying you're able to see, ne?
Yes, sir, but it's very small and can't really read it.
It's small. I think if you click on the screen where you say small, it's going to zoom in. It's going to be on full screen. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, guys, is to quickly read through that given statement, and then from there, what I'm also going to do is to go back to the drawing that I did, and then going forward, I'm going to then refer to this question paper, but using my tablet. So Aliswa, just in case if you don't have this question paper, at the end of this lesson I'm going to send it again in the group, or otherwise if you are able to scroll up you will see it somewhere up there. So even if you joined this group after it was posted, you can still have access to the old information that was sent in the group. So after, can you see it now? Did you find it?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, great. So it's fine for now. Let's just read through that given information, and then from there I'm going to remove my screen and do the back camera so that you're able to see where I. Then from there we'll just separately read through that question paper. So guys, question number 4 says in the diagram, F which is -2, which is 2 and -2. We also have G, which has the x value of 5 and 2, and C, which is 6 and Y, are the vertices of triangle FGC. FG is perpendicular to FC. N is a point on FG such that the inclination of NC is 104,04 degrees. The angle of inclination of FG is beta, and F angle N in triangle F and C is equals to theta. So ladies and gentlemen, let me now remove this because almost everyone has got or can access this question paper is posted up there. So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then from there I think what I'm going to do is to then separately stop sharing. I hope it has stopped sharing my screen. So now let me bring back my screen. So guys, are you now able to see on my screen?
No, sir.
Not necessarily on my screen, but on the board. Are you able to see over there?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Wait, guys. You're saying you're not able to see this drawing that I drew by hand?
No, sir.
No, sir. I can't see the board.
Okay. Let me try to then do something, because it is supposed to show. Let me see. Maybe it's because I share screen. I stopped sharing the screen. So now camera off, camera on, back camera, continue. So still you're not able to see.
We can see now, sir.
No, sir.
But it's the image is cut.
Okay. Yeah, no. Not that image. I wanted you to see that hand-drawn diagram. So you're saying now you're able to see, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now I'm going to read through that statement for the last time. And again, as I read through, I'll be referring to this hand-drawn diagram. So ladies and gentlemen, it says in the diagram, we've got F, which is 2 and -2. Let's check, where's F? There is point F. Remember, guys, from yesterday's lesson, I've indicated that we've got a point, which is point F, which has the coordinates. What are the coordinates? The coordinates are the x and y values. So that means the coordinates of point F is 2 and -2. And again, we've got G, which is 5 and 2. G is that point over there. We've got C, which is that point over there, which is 6 and Y. So they say these are the vertices of triangle FGC. So FGC is a triangle with those points, with those coordinates. FG is perpendicular to FC. Where's FC? There is FC. Where is FG? There is FG. So they're saying these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Remember, guys, when you've got perpendicular lines, it obviously means the gradient of that line multiplied by the gradient of that line is equals to, is there someone who still remember from yesterday's lesson what is an answer to that question?
It's supposed to equal -1, sir.
Say that again.
-1, sir.
It's equals to -1, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So the statement continues to say N is a point on FG. So where's N? There's N. They say it's a point on FG. Where's FG? There's FG. So they say such that the line of inclination of NC is 104.04 degrees. So there is NC, and we've got that angle, which is 104.04 degrees. The angle of inclination of FG is beta. Where's the angle of inclination of FG? There is FG. That angle of inclination is that one which is beta. And they say F angle NC. So that means, what is it? Angle N in triangle FNC. It's beta. So guys, when you've got something written like that, FC angle N, so they're simply saying that angle N in that triangle. So obviously this is the angle in that triangle. So you need to understand when something is written in this format, you need to be able to know exactly which angle they're talking about. Obviously you will need to know for which triangle. So guys, I'm not sure if I should interpret this diagram in the same way I've interpreted it on yesterday's lesson, or is it clear enough such that it does not need interpretation, or for me to redraw it? Can someone just give me an indication if there's a need to explain this diagram again? Guys, did you get my question? Are we still together, guys?
I believe we are all still together, sir.
Would you say we can continue, or would you say I should quickly try to redraw that diagram?
I believe we can continue, sir. I don't know how everyone else feels, but I believe that I'm fine.
Okay, so I do agree with you, because I think in terms of the interpretation that I gave on yesterday's lesson, it applies also on this question. So guys, the first question that we're given, they say calculate the gradient of FG, and this question it's allocated 2 marks. Calculate the gradient of FG. So ladies and gentlemen, this is question 4.1, where they say calculate the gradient. So you can just say M represents the gradient. We know the formula for the gradient, ladies and gentlemen, is change in Y over change in X. What gradient are we calculating? Is the gradient of FG. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that at all times when you're given a question, write down the formula that you're going to use to answer that particular question. Obviously, in the end, you must tell us what is the gradient of FG. But firstly, very, very much important that we write down the formula. So obviously, when we expand this formula, change means second minus first, or final minus initial if it was a lesson of physical sciences. So in this case, we are saying change of y. That's why it's y2 minus y1. So at the bottom, it will be x2 minus x1. So guys, do we have the coordinates of f and g? And answer to that question is yes. So as I've indicated yesterday, I follow the alphabetical order. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can you see? F comes first, which means we've got 2 minus 2. And again, we've got G, where we have 5 and 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, that means this will be my x1, this will be my y1, x2, y2. So when I substitute, it becomes easy. 2 is my y1. Remember, guys, in brackets, minus into what is my y1? Obviously, it's negative 2 divided by my x2. It's 5 minus my x1 is 2. So, guys, can someone punch that on a calculator and let me know if we're getting the same answers? So I'm also going to punch it. It's fraction button. We've got 2 minus into negative 2. At the bottom, we've got 5 minus 2. I'm getting an answer of which I'm not sure if it's the same to an answer that you're getting. Guys, unmute and let me know what answer you're getting.
I got 4/3.
I also got 4/3.
4/3 seems to be an answer to that question. So guys, it's very, very much important that we write it down over there. Reason to that is because we want to be able to see the calculated values versus the given information. So is the gradient of fg, which is equals to positive 4/3. So you remember, guys, on yesterday's lesson I explained in terms of how you notice a positive gradient and also how you notice a negative gradient. So guys, since this is a positive gradient, can someone tell me that line NC, will it be a positive or a negative gradient? Promise, can you give it a try? Linda?
I think it's going to be a negative gradient.
Okay, so
No, a
it
positive.
will be
Let's see.
it will be a negative gradient. So promise, on yesterday's lesson I indicated that if you've got that vertical y-axis and that horizontal x-axis, for all the lines in that direction, we get a positive gradient. For all the lines in that direction, all the lines in that direction, we get negative gradient. So always remember that part. The reason for you to notice is because if for some reason when calculating the gradient of fg you get a negative number, then you know you made a mistake somewhere. So guys, for this question, you're obviously going to get a mark for correct substitution and a mark for final answer. So guys, that is how you solve for the first question of that question paper, or let me rather say the first question of question 4. So I'm going to remove all of these. then we'll move to obviously the next question. So 4.2 says calculate the value of y, and this question is allocated 3 marks. They say calculate the value of y. So guys, are you able to see where is y?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where is y?
Right there by C.
Y
It's
is
on
there
C.
on the coordinates or on the point of C. So that's where we find y. So in this case, guys, in this case, you might need to use an answer that you got from 4.1 in order to answer question 4.2. So remember, guys, remember, we just said the gradient of fg multiplied by the gradient of what is it, cf
CF.
is equals to -1. If you don't understand this part, just indicate so that I can explain why I'm saying that and also where I got that information. So ladies and gentlemen, remember guys, we just calculated the gradient of fg. So guys, are we all on the same page with that information?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we just calculated the gradient of of fg, which is 4/3 multiplied by the gradient of CF. Obviously, we've got the F coordinates and the C coordinates, and the C coordinates are in the form of Y. So that is why we are going to say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is equals to 0. So the main aim is to substitute there on the gradient of CF in the form of y. So guys, let's now substitute. Obviously, we've got 4/3 multiplied by y2. In this case, obviously I said I use alphabetical order. So there I've got 6, y, I've got f, which is 2 and minus 2, which means this will be my x2, this will be my y2, x1, what is it, y1. So in this case, my x2 is going to be -2, which means there in brackets I've got -2 minus, what is my y1? Obviously my y1 is that y over there, divided by x2. What is my x2? It seems like my x2 is 2 over there. So guys, minus, what is my y1? Y1, it seems to be let's see, it's 6, isn't it? Yes. My y1 over there, it's wait, where am I? My x1 is 6. Yes, guys, this is equals to it should be -1 over there, because on that original formula we are saying the gradient of fg times the gradient of cf is equals to -1. So also there it has to be -1, and again there it still has to be -1. Guys, I'm not sure if I've lost you somewhere. Are you sure we are still on the same page, guys?
Yes,
Still
sir.
fine on my side, sir.
Okay, great. So now let's perform some calculations. Obviously, we want to solve for a y. So what I can do, I can just remove that, which means at the top I'm going to have minus 2 minus y divided by that gives me, what is it? It's negative 4, which is equals to a negative 1 divided by 4 over 3. So guys, with whatever that I'm doing here, just make sure that you understand, because I'm just following mathematical procedure to solve for that value over there. So I can just punch all of this on a calculator and see what I get. So negative 1 divided by into fraction button 4 over 3 close, it's equals to negative 3 over 4. So this thing is equals to negative 3 over 4, which means I can cross multiply, meaning I've got negative 2 minus y, which is equals to negative 3 over 4 multiplied by that negative 4. Remember, guys, just in case if we get confused, please make sure to let me know. So obviously, if that is multiplied by negative 4, negative cancels, it becomes positive. That cancels, you remain with positive 3. So it's more like you've got minus 2 minus y, it's equals to positive 3. Okay, so obviously, guys, obviously, you can just move that y to the other side. It changes the sign, it becomes positive y. Then if you move that to the other side, it becomes negative 3. So it's more like you've got negative 2 minus 3, which is equals to minus 5. Therefore, it means y is actually equals to minus 5. So guys, to me, it makes sense because because y is on the negative side of the y-axis, which means it's correct to expect a negative value, because y on this side, on this quadrant or in this quadrant, it's on the negative side of the uh, on the negative side of the y values. So which means our y value is equals to negative 5. Guys, this question is allocated 3 marks, and I'm not sure if all of you understand that part. Can I get an indication if there's someone who's lost, guys? Guys, are we still are we still together on this question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now, where exactly are you getting your 3 marks? So ladies and gentlemen, for you to state that the gradient of FG times the gradient of CF is equals to negative 1, we give you a mark for that. Guys, for correct substitution, we give you a mark. And lastly, for the final answer, ladies and gentlemen, we give you a mark. So this is exactly how you score your 3 marks. So guys, I'm going to remove all of this information so that we move to our next question. So let's see. Let me get that question to see what question 4.3 says. Seems like I've lost that question paper, guys. Is there someone who still has got that question paper?
It says calculate the size of theta.
Oh, yes, I got it. 4.3 says calculate the size of theta. This is an interesting question. It's a very tricky question, which needs you to apply your mind. So they want you to calculate the angle, which is angle theta. So now let's check. Where is angle theta? There is angle theta. So let me draw that x-axis. Obviously, this is that line of N and C, and we are given this angle. That angle is 104.04 degrees. Remember, guys, I think there are more than one way to answer that question. I think if you use the information that you would learn under that chapter of, I think it's Euclidean geometry, you should be able to use that basic knowledge to easily answer this question. So obviously, guys, we still have that line, which is G and what else? F over there. So the angle that they want you to calculate is that angle theta over there, taking into consideration that you still have that angle there, which is angle beta. So ladies and gentlemen, are you able to calculate or find that angle? Is there someone who's got an idea of how we can find that angle there?
We could use the rule of supplementary angles because it's a straight line. So we subtract that of that given value from 180 to get that angle.
100%. So that means 180 degrees minus 104.04 degrees will give us that angle. So let's just quickly punch that on a calculator and say 180 minus 104, that, and we get 75.96 degrees, which means this is 75.96 degrees. So guys, isn't there any possible way in which we can find that angle beta, guys? As soon as we get that angle beta, we can easily use that rule that someone is going to help me in order to find that angle theta over there. So guys, so far, do you have an idea of the direction in which I'm going to find that angle theta? Guys, are we still on the same page up to this far?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So is there someone who's got an idea or a suggestion of how we can find that angle beta? Okay, so guys, I'm going to now quickly show you something. Remember, there's this formula which says tan angle. Remember, it could be theta, it could be, okay, let me do this, or tan beta, what else? Let me just say tan angle is equals to a gradient. This is equals to gradient. This is equals to gradient. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this formula before or have heard of this formula before. This is the same thing, guys. Isn't there some of you guys who have seen this type of a formula somewhere?
Yes, sir, we have at some point.
Okay, so now let's try a let's try to find out what that formula mean, or how we can use that formula in this case. If a tan angle can be equated to a gradient of a certain line, in this case the gradient, if we want to calculate that angle, we are going to say the gradient of fg. So that means if we can equate these two and calculate that angle, of which in this problem that angle is represented by angle beta, we can equate it to gradient of fg. So guys, the angle that we can calculate using this formula is going to be that angle over there. So if, let me try to also explain something, guys. If we've got a Cartesian plane, and you've got a line running in that direction. So let's say this is A and B. So if you want that angle, guys, that angle formed between the x-axis and that line with a positive gradient, that angle over there, ladies and gentlemen, let's say it's angle theta. That angle you can formulate to say tan of that angle theta is equals to the gradient of AB. So I'm not sure if, ladies and gentlemen, this part makes sense. If you've got a line, guys, a line, for example, maybe from that in that direction, and there we've got C. If you want this angle, which is an angle formed between the x-axis and that line, let's say this is angle beta, you can equate to say tan beta is equals to gradient of AC. Guys, similarly, if you've got that line and this is maybe D, and you want that angle formed between the x-axis and that line, you can still equate to say tan that angle, which is that angle over there, can be equated to the gradient of AD. Guys, do you understand this part that I've just explained now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so now I'm going to remove all of this. So that means, obviously, if I have to refer to that diagram, if I want to calculate that angle formed between the x-axis and that line, remember this is the x-axis and this is that straight line. So I can say tan of beta in this case, it's equals to the gradient of fg. What is the gradient of fg? Do we have it, guys?
Yes, sir. It's 4/3.
Is 4/3.
It's 4/3, which is equals to tan angle beta. So guys, when you've got something similar to this, how do you remove that tan and calculate that angle?
Second function the tan on the calculator and put that 4/3 in the bracket over there.
100%. So second function of tan, in brackets, you've got 4/3. So what are we getting when we punch that? So remember, guys, at all times, make sure that your calculator is in degrees. Nay. Let's see that second function, that 3 divided 4 divided by 3. Guys, I'm getting an answer of which I'm not sure which answer you guys are getting.
I got 53,13.
53,13. Remember degrees because
Degrees.
it's an angle. So now it means we've got two angles within that a triangle. Guys, is there a rule that we can use to calculate angle theta, which is what the question wants us to calculate?
Interior angles of a triangle are equal to 180.
Sorry, say again.
Interior angles of a triangle are equal to 180.
100%. 100%. So that means angle theta plus 53,13 degrees plus what is it, 75,96 degrees should be equals to 180 degrees, which means angle theta will be equal to 180 degrees minus that minus that. So guys, what answer are you getting when you do that calculation?
Sir, I got 50,91 degrees.
50,91 degrees. Who got that answer?
Alizo got the answer, sir.
Okay. Guys, Linda, Lilbra, who else? Promise. Are we still on the same page, guys? Are you sure you are not left behind?
We're on the same page,
Yes.
sir.
We are all on the same page, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And everything on the screen is clear. You are all able to see everything that is written there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So, guys, I'm not sure if, let's say, for example, we only had that angle. Let's say we just calculated that angle beta. Is there a rule that we can use to find that angle, theta?
The rule of exterior angles, sir. The exterior angles of a triangle are equal to the two opposite interior angles.
Then how do we then calculate that angle theta? What am I writing?
The sum of angle theta and angle beta should equal 104,04.
Then how do I formulate it?
Okay, so how would you formulate it? Maybe I think So that I think beta plus theta should equal 104,04.
So you're saying beta plus
Theta
1 over 4.
should
Beta plus
theta should equal 1/4,04,
plus
and then
theta should
yes,
be 104,04 degrees. That's what you're saying, eh?
yes, sir, yes, sir. And
Okay.
then we'd make theta the subject of the formula by taking the value for beta to the other side.
Which is minus beta, ne?
Yes, sir.
Then what else?
I think that's just about it as far as I can remember.
So then we substitute the value that we calculated for that beta, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Which is 53,13 degrees. So let's punch all of these and see if we get that answer that we got when we used that other method of firstly finding that angle.
Yes, sir. We do get the same answer of 50,91 degrees.
50,91 degrees. So ladies and gentlemen, this is an indication that for this question of 4.3, we've got two possible ways, or maybe we can just say at least two possible ways in which we can answer that question. So guys, before we move to the last question, are we all on the same page, or is there someone who's got a question? Linda, are we all on the same page, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so remember, I think, let me see, this question was allocated, I think, yeah, it was 3 marks. So for you to say tan of what was it, tan of beta, it's equals to 4/3. For that step you get a mark, ladies and gentlemen, because it shows, this is an indication that you know exactly what you'll be doing. And again, for you to get the value of that angle beta, to say it's 53.13 degrees, you get a mark. Your last mark comes from your final answer, which means all of these steps in between are not allocated any marks. So ladies and gentlemen, it's more like in grade 10 they give you some marks for simplification and everything. So those marks start to reduce when you get to grade 11. So when you get to grade 12, it is assumed that you already know how to simplify. So in grade 12, they're actually testing your thinking capability. So your thinking ability. So obviously, it's all about an understanding that if you can have that angle and that angle, you can easily find that angle using the rules. And again, when given this angle, you can still use whatever information in order to find in order to find that theta. So guys, I think now that we are all on the same page, can someone quickly try to check what the last question says? Then from there, we should be done with this question, ladies and gentlemen. It's not really a complicated question, and I'm sure you fully understand how to tackle this type of question. So guys, what is that question for 4.4?
It says calculate the length of NC.
Let's see, length of, what is it, FC?
NC.
Oh, the length of NC. The length of NC. Sure. Yeah. This is going to be a very tricky question, but I think we can try to check what information we've got, and again what information we need. Guys, is there someone who's got an idea of how we can solve that question? It could be a suggestion, or otherwise, if you don't have an idea of how to tackle that question, just let me know so that I can start giving you an idea of how you can tackle this type of questions. Guys, anyone who think they can give it a try? Also, if you don't have any idea, you can just indicate so that I'm aware that I can just straight away try to explain how to tackle that question.
So I don't have an idea.
But you do understand what the question wants you to calculate, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, 100%. So now what they want you to calculate is the length of NC. So they want to know the length from that point to that point. And we already know that the moment they talk about the length, we think of the distance formula. And I think the distance formula is a square root of, should be x2 minus x1 close squared plus open y2 minus y1 squared. So ladies and gentlemen, the moment they say calculate the length, please do write down the formula that you need in order to write the length, because that formula is going to serve as a guide to you. So let's see, they want the length of NC. The other thing that you can think of, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a triangle. I'm not sure if you're noticing what I'm seeing, guys. We've got a triangle of CFN. Remember, guys, what I'm doing here is just to discuss an approach to this type of questions. I just said when they said length, quickly write down the formula for the distance. You might need it. And again, understand the length of what. So now they want the length of NC. Based on the previous calculations that we did, we notice that we've got a right angled triangle. So what is it that we noticed, ladies and gentlemen? We've got angle theta. What was that angle theta again, guys? Was it 50 point, what was it?
50.91.
91.
50.91 degrees. Thanks for that, guys. So that means we've got that angle over there. And again, remember, we've got the coordinates of F, we've got the coordinates of C. So now that we've got the value of that angle, which is that one, what if we've got that length, ladies and gentlemen? If we've got that length, can we not check if we can use tan theta? Can we not check if we can use cos theta? Can we not check if we can use sine theta? Obviously, you know, tan, it's opposite over adjacent. Guys, I'm sure you know this, isn't it? Sine is what? Hypotenuse over, is it adjacent? No, cos. Cos is adjacent, no, hypotenuse over adjacent. If you remember, guys, just remind me on this. And sine, I think, is a, what is it? Sinoa.
Sine is opposite over hypotenuse.
Oh, opposite over hypotenuse, which means also this one is adjacent, is cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. Am I correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
So the hypotenuse is at the bottom, ne? Cosine, okay, yeah, no. Sinoa, Tanoa. You know this thing, most guys. Do you know this thing? There is sometimes the other guys call it socatua. Is it socatua? Socatua.
Yes, sir. Socatua.
Okay, 100%. If you are aware of this, then let's check if we can use all of those. So, guys, if we can find this length, what can we use over there? Is it tan? Is it cos? Is it sine?
Sine.
I agree, because this is adjacent, this is opposite, this is hypotenuse. And I think if we use sine, then we are able to say a sine angle, which is theta, will be equals to opposite, which is going to be that length that we can calculate over a hypotenuse, which is NC. Ladies and gentlemen, before I do any calculations, does it make sense to everyone in terms of what exactly we're trying to calculate over there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone is happy, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So I'm going to remove all of this. So remember, guys, that's what I was explaining to say. This chapter, it's really not that much complicated. They are just testing your understanding and again, your ability, length. I know there's G somewhere there. So they are just testing your level of thinking. So guys, obviously at this stage, you fully understand exactly what we're trying to do. So that means we're going to calculate the distance of FC, or the length of FC. What is it? What is our x2? Between F and C, which one comes first? C comes first. Then this becomes my x1, y1. This comes second, x2, y2. So what is x2? It's a 2 minus what is x1? X1 is 6 close squared, plus what is my y2? Y2, it's negative 2, minus y1. Guys, what is my y1?
-5.
-5.
Then it means we are together, guys. Remember, there's a squared over there. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the distance of FC? Can we now punch all of that and see if we get the same answer? Guys, what are we getting?
5,66.
So you're getting 5,66. The other one, what are you getting?
I got 5.
You got 5.
Yes.
And then the third person, I also got 5. Who else got 5? Or is there someone who got a different answer?
Also got 5.
Okay, so that means this is 5. So whoever got it incorrect, did you notice your mistake?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means it's 5. So what does it mean? It means we've got 5 units over there. So now someone said we can use sine angle that's equals to opposite over hypotenuse. So what is a opposite?
It's 5.
Okay, opposite is 5. What is hypotenuse?
NC.
We don't have it,
or
sir.
CN. We don't have the value.
We don't have it, then it's SCNC, which is what the question wants us to calculate. So now we're having a sine what?
50,91.
50,91. So obviously, in this case, you can just cross multiply, meaning you've got NC sine 50,91, which is equals to what? 5. Then NC is equals to, is it 5 divided by sine of 50,91? Guys, if you agree with me on that one, what is 50 over 50,91?
It's 6,44.
Guys, are we all getting the same answer?
Yes, sir. I got
Yes, sir.
6,44 as well.
6,44 unit. So guys, this is how you answer this question. And I think there, whoever who said, because obviously I think it was all of you who did not have an idea of how to tackle that question. Do you now understand how they ask this type of questions and what is expected of you guys? Do you now have a light?
Yes, sir.
I'm clear right now.
Okay,
Yes,
so this
sir.
is where you score your marks. For correct substitution into the distance formula, we give you a mark. Guys, for the length of FC, you also deserve a mark. Guys, for correct formulation or for you to formulate that, we won't give you a mark for equation in mathematics because you are given formula sheet. But sometimes, especially in grade 11, I think in your exams, I'm not sure if in your, I think in your final exams you're not given formula sheet, so it means you must know it by heart. So this is where you score your mark. Remember, this question is allocated 4 marks. So obviously your final answer, it's allocated a mark. So this is how you score your 4th mark. So guys, is there someone who's doing grade 11 in this who has attended this lesson? Is there someone who's in grade 11?
Yes, sir.
Grade 10? Grade 12?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
guys, normally when I do this type of a general lesson where everyone is invited to join, I try to do those type of questions where they are suitable for grade 11s and grade 12. I'm going to tell you something about myself. I wasn't that much good in maths, physical sciences, and other subjects, especially in grade 10 and 11. So I started studying these things on my own to such an extent that when I was in grade 12, I had to do my grade 10 in grade 12. And again, I had to do my grade 11 in grade 12. At the same time, I had to do grade 12 in grade 12. So that means for the fact that you are in grade 12, it doesn't necessarily mean you should ignore the grade 10 stuff. So whether I'm doing grade 10 or grade 11 stuff, never ever underestimate those lessons, ladies and gentlemen. Because as you can see, I think for most of you who have attended my lessons, I'm sure you are able to notice that my teaching style is a bit different from whoever who has taught you before, because I'm not really interested in just showing you how you solve, but I try by all means to make you guys think differently. And again, I invest more in interpreting the given information, diagram, and the question. So guys, that's why I'm saying whichever lesson that I conduct, I can guarantee to you that you will learn something new. So just make sure that when I do a lesson, if you are available, uh, try to attend. But otherwise, for some reasons, if you are not able to attend, you can just make an indication and request for a link where you'll be able to catch up. Because in that way, can you see, even when we move, for those who attended yesterday's lesson and today's lesson, even on our next lesson when we do a this chapter for grade 12, even if you're in grade 11, because of my teaching style, you will be able to understand. So even if you're in grade 12 and we're doing grade 11 stuff, you should be able to understand. So guys, there's a lesson that I did on my website where I teach the basics of this chapter. I think I've mentioned that in the group. Whenever you get a chance, please try to go through all of those lessons. And then from there, under revision, I've got some lessons where I just do a revision under, I think it's exam revision on my website. So that's where I do a lot of questions, a lot of different questions for analytical geometry, where I just interpret the given information, diagram, and questions. So if you can just go through those lessons, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, whether in grade 10, 11, or 12, you won't struggle in understanding what the question wants you to do. So, guys, I thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as I did. So, guys, before I wrap up, is there someone who's got a question, comments, suggestions or whatever. Guys, questions, comment, suggestion, or anything to say in relation to today's lesson?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I have a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So, sir, I was thinking, why don't we attend lesson according to teachers' pace setup? Because right now we are doing in term one, we are doing number patterns and
Mm-hmm.
Euclidean geometry.
Yeah. Okay. No,
So,
that's also a very good suggestion. The other thing, I think, the other thing was because remember, guys. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention this. Remember, you are mixed with learners who are upgrading uh, their maths, and others are also upgrading physical sciences. Name. So, and again, some of you are in matric grade 11 for the first time. So in this group, we've got two types of learners. We've got those that we do private um, lessons. So those ones are doing paid lessons. So when every time when I say a general lesson and everyone is allowed to speak, that's when I'm doing a general lesson or a free lesson which is suggested by someone who's either upgrading or otherwise they are doing this chapter. So you'll find that some other guys are writing their exams in June, so they are not following the pace setter. So that's the other thing. But otherwise, from what I'm getting based on your suggestion is that it's better if we follow the pace setter. So I think next general lesson, I will just try to check what is it that you guys are on. So when I do my private lessons, um, obviously, so if you want to notice when I'm doing a private lesson, it's either I indicate in the group or otherwise you are not able to comment. So you'll just join the lesson and you'll remain muted throughout the lesson. So I'll only be communicating with the learner who requested for either that particular lesson or otherwise if it's you know, if what our timetable says. So I think we should I should embrace that suggestion. It's a good suggestion, which means on our next general lesson, let's do more of what is it? You say sequence and series, nay. So you guys are on sequence and series, isn't it?
for now, we started Euclidean geometry this week.
Oh, okay. And you've already done a sequence, because one thing for sure, I might not be able to cover everything that you're doing on your syllabus. So I think for whatever that you have done, we'll just do, let's say, if you did 4 chapters, we might do maybe 50%, because these lessons won't be done on a daily basis. It's just that for now, I think it's because I've got some time. So you might find that we do these general lessons twice a week or 3 times a week. It will depend. But otherwise, I think for general lessons, as you suggested, let's follow your pace setter. And then from there, with my other lessons, I'll just do it as I've explained. So sometimes don't be surprised when the lesson is on and not everyone is invited. Just check the notification that I sent before I started with the lesson. Just like earlier today, I was doing a grade 10 private lesson, even though you were able to join the lesson, but you wouldn't be able to comment. So otherwise, guys, some of the lessons that I say I might skip is because you'll find that I've already done a complete lesson on my website, so you can still catch it up there. But otherwise, based on this information that you are getting on this type of lessons, I think you will learn a lot. And again, as I've indicated, based on your commitment, if I happen to get a chance, we can still have a winter school for those who won't be able to afford to go for camps or whatever. And again, towards the end of the year, we should also do more of exam revisions. That's where I'm going to remind you of all of this information. And the nice thing, what I like about this Telegram is that I'm able to record all of these lessons, post them on the website. Then at any time when you feel like you forgot this chapter and you remember we've done it, then you can just catch up. So guys, based on what I've said, who was it, Kujo? Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So everyone
Yes.
else, are we okay?
Sir, just to interject, as you mentioned earlier, that we are a pretty mixed group, and we have people who are currently upgrading their matric maths and science results. So what I would like to suggest is that for the general lesson, is that we do like the main problem areas, that we find that most people struggle with when it comes to exams. And then maybe if a person has like what Kuto was suggesting, maybe then that is done like on more of like a private lesson.
So you're saying for those chapters where most of learners find challenges, then we
Yes,
can
like
do it.
for Euclidean geometry, for example. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know that most people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Just because some of us are writing in June, and you
Mm,
know, around those areas, it's like a big struggle area, and we're kind of on a
yeah.
time crunch.
And again, let me try to remember. And again, are you upgrading your maths?
Yes, sir, and both my math science.
Okay, no, I understand. Because I know there are some chapters um, that I didn't do myself. Because I did my matric in 2013, and I think just after our matric, they introduced some new chapters, of which
Mm.
I think Euclidean geometry is one of those. I forgot what was the other chapters that they added. So I think so that means I've got two options. It's either I need to study those chapters, of which I know it might take some time, or otherwise I might need to find someone who's good in that particular chapter to invite in the lesson and see if they can be able to help. So I'm not sure if that would also work for you guys. Just in case if it's a chapter that I haven't done completely, then I can find someone. There's someone who that I know they are good with these chapters. Then I can invite them to just assist. Otherwise, it means I'll have to study those chapters. So I'm not really sure in terms of how long it might take me because I've never done them completely. But it seems like some of you have got an idea. So even if I do study those and just make sure that I'm able to explain so that you understand, I think it might also work. But let me just I'll see how to work it out on that one. I'll see how to work it out, Linda. So I'm not sure if my response. Do you understand the background that I'm coming from?
Yes, sir, I fully understand. Fully understand.
Okay, guys, promise Linda. Did that discussion also accommodate you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so guys, I think this is that time. If all of you are happy, then you know this is that time when I say, my name is Desmond and I'm out. Guys, thanks very much for joining. I'll notify you guys of our next